I'm just picturing going out into a vineyard in California, walking the rows of grapes through the massive hills as the sun's setting.
Beautiful romantic evening.
Holding a glass of wine.
Yep.
And then you happen to come across the decapitated woman posed in a sexual manner at a California vineyard. This happened in 2011. They finally identified her. This was like, what? What happened here?
That's got to really put a damper on their marketing and reputation, don't you think?
I don't know. Or you can make a really creative bottle label out of it, I guess. Like, hey, this is the one from the back 40 where we found the late. I don't know. I mean, there's some weird, bizarro bottle labels out there. I can't imagine you'd really want to celebrate this at your vineyard, though. After more than a decade of a mystery surrounding a gruesome discovery at a California vineyard, authorities have finally identified the decapitated woman found posed in a, quote, sexual manner in 2011 as 64-year-old Ada Beth Kaplan. The case initially perplexed investigators. It's taken a significant step forward with the identification, though many questions are still unanswered. Ada Beth Kaplan's lifeless body was discovered in March of 2011 in a horrifying scene that baffled law enforcement. Efforts to identify her were unsuccessful at the time, and authorities classified her death as a homicide while struggling to determine the exact cause. Kaplan's body had been found in a disturbing state with her head and thumbs missing, making it virtually impossible to identify her. The condition in which her body was left shocked those who came across the scene, with former Kern County Sheriff's Department official Ray Pruitt describing it as if someone had posed a mannequin in a provocative manner. The body was completely nude, lying prone on its back on a dirt roadway, and it appeared that the body had been posed by whoever left the body there. Pruitt stated, emphasizing the eerie nature of the crime scene. For nearly a decade, the case remained cold and unsolved, leaving authorities and the community with unanswered questions. However, in 2020, a renewed effort to crack the case began when the Kern County Medical Examiner's Office teamed up with the DNA Doe Project. The collaboration led to a painstaking investigation that involved tracing back 8 generations of Kaplan's ancestors, eventually leading to her identification. Kaplan's family history played a pivotal role in the identification process, with 3 of her 4 grandparents being immigrants. The investigation delved into Eastern European records and enlisted the help of Jewish genealogy experts to piece together her lineage, finally revealing her identity. In July, 2 potential family members were located. Their DNA samples were used to make the match that positively identified Kaplan, shedding light on her identity and bringing her story to the forefront after many years of anonymity. However, the revelation that Kaplan's was the decapitated woman found in the vineyard presented yet another mystery. Authorities learned that she was never reported missing, added to the enigma surrounding the case. Despite the breakthrough in identifying the victim, critical details such as the identity of the perpetrator and the circumstances surrounding Kaplan's death remain unknown. The case is still under investigation, with law enforcement agencies in Kern County committed to uncovering the truth behind this gruesome and perplexing case. Well, that's an interesting one, the fact that there was no one around that noticed she was gone for, what are we on here, 22, 23 years? That, and not reported missing, that says a lot about what was going on in her life at the time. If no one has noticed that she's missing, because you're not just talking maybe the person who was living with her, a spouse or a kid or something. We're talking no one. Not said,
even a neighbor.
So-and-so didn't show up to work. What happened to this person? So, and just nobody.
Oh God, Tony, that's poking at something really deep inside of me. I don't have any kids. I've got stepkids. I've got cats. We know their lifespan. You know, I'm married, but it's like, you know, if you're 65, 70 years old and nobody's going to notice you're gone. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's pretty sad.
It is.
And even
a neighbor.
Yeah. And this clearly was not a suicide or something of that nature.
No.
I mean, it sounds kind of like a drug hit of some sort. So I'd be very curious as to what exactly Ada Beth Kaplan was involved in 2011, or who she was with.
A 64-year-old, I don't know.
I mean, the fact if there is family, I'd want to know more about what happened here and why did no one care that she was missing. Was she just reclusive to her family? And everybody's like, well, she lives out in the woods or whatever, and we don't really see her, and that's how she likes it, and we've kind of just done our thing. I don't know. There's a lot of ways where this may not be as bizarre, but it is rather. You see this with kids sometimes, especially kids out of a horrible home where there are no grandparents, there's no aunts, there's no uncles, there's literally nobody in the picture except for the abusive parent that knows the child exists. And then you see it, well, the kid goes missing and nobody knows because nobody ever knew the kid. But be a 64-year-old and have this happen in such a brutal way, too. And why at the Vineyard?
And back in 2011 when this happened, we weren't deep into DNA. So a way to make sure that somebody's not discovered is cut their head off and hands and fingers. To me, this just screams somebody didn't want to get caught. I don't know.
Well, and somebody left. This was a sign. This was a warning sign to someone. This was a threat to leave a body in that sort of way. You wouldn't just unless you're just a really deviant, horrible human being, which I guess could potentially be the case. But this sounds far more like it was a sign that was left to someone, whether it be somebody at that vineyard or whatnot, of this will happen. We're capable of doing this to you. It was a warning sign to somebody. Maybe she was homeless. Maybe she was just on the streets. And that's, again, why nobody noticed that she was gone. And they just kidnapped somebody and used her as an example. Maybe she really had nothing to do with anything other than the wrong people got a hold of her and made her into a threat or an example for something with this vineyard. I don't know.
Maybe the vineyard was just an unlucky place. Somebody thought, I can dump a body here and nobody's going to notice for a while because maybe, they're done.
I don't know. That body is a message to somebody, and I don't know who or what. And this woman may have something to do with what that message is, although I'd almost guess she doesn't. I would almost guess that she was just picked up and then they used this woman as an example for some message to somebody. Who, what, where that message is? Maybe they can dig into that part next.
Sick of the ads?
We are too.
Start listening with no commercials now and get access to all of our episodes in advance of everyone else.
Become a True Crime Today Premium Plus subscriber on Apple Podcasts.
Search True Crime Today Premium Plus on Apple Podcasts or go to our podcast page and sign up now.
True Crime Today Premium Plus.
Sign up now.